My 30M wife, 24F, wants an abortion and it's breaking my heart. I can't tell anyone about this in real life. That's the reason I'm posting this on Reddit. Long story short, my wife found out she's pregnant around 2 weeks ago. Although she actually wants kids, she doesn't want them right now and wants to get an abortion. This is her body, so I'm not going to tell her what she should do or not, but I'm heartbroken by her choice. I would have loved to have a baby and I would have 100% supported my wife through everything. I know that I have no say in this, but it hurts nonetheless. I'm usually not an emotional person, but I just can't stop crying because of my wife's choice. Any advice on how to handle this situation? TL, doctor, wife wants an abortion. I'm heartbroken by her choice. Kinda wish you guys had the talk before you got married and take the proper steps. If I had a wife, we would probably have protocols like an accidental pregnancy. If we disagree very hugely, then the marriage shouldn't be happening. I feel for you, man. Hope it gets better. Get professional help and talk to a wife, or else you will build up resentment and might hold this for a lifetime. GL. Really sorry, it has to be hard. Have you thought of going to someone you trust that you can talk to? I've thought about it, but my wife doesn't want anyone knowing about this pregnancy, so I don't think I can tell anyone about this. Your wife is 24. She is at a just graduated college, just getting her very first job, has so many life goals to achieve stage in her life. She's just starting out. She's had a full year to get her career going. This is not the age for her to be a parent, especially if she has years worth of goals and growth and development to still do. By contrast, at 30, have had 6 additional years to live your youth, secure your career, set your future, earn money necessary for parenting and stability, and meet your life's goals. The difference in maturity between 20s and 30s is massive. A 6-year age gap between two 30-somethings would be minuscule in terms of compatibility. Not so between the 20s and 30s. Lot changes between say 20 and 26. So much that those 6 years make you a totally different person. What I'm trying to say is your wife is in a totally different phase of life than you are. She is still young. She's still growing up into an adult and not ready to be a parent. You are older, and seasoned adult with your crap together, and at the age where starting families is normal and encouraged. There is a large difference between the way she sees this pregnancy and the way you see it. She's not ready. Would you be at 24? You can be sad about it for sure, but you still have many years to have children. You as a man can have them just as easily at 36 as you can at 30. She has at least a decade of fertility plus some to have children and create a family with you. Take the time to grieve. You are entitled to your feelings. You are allowed to be sad as you suffer a loss. I would just try to be understanding. The worst thing you can do is not be honest about how you feel. I'm not saying stop her, but be emotionally vulnerable. Otherwise, resentment will build and fester in other ways to burden the relationship. Honestly, this is the difference between 30 and 24. Not that that's anyone's fault, but a whole lot of 24-year-old women do not want kids at their age, and a whole lot of 30-year-old men do and are ready for it. This is absolutely heartbreaking, for you and for her. Wishing the best for both of you. Yeah. Think back to when you were 24. How would you have felt if your girlfriend said she was pregnant? Biological mother of my adopted baby wants back into her and our lives. Backstory: a little over a year ago my best friend passed away after being in a car accident. Shortly after his passing we discovered that the woman he was, casually-ish, seeing was pregnant. The woman, being at the start of her career and decently young, had no interest/desire to be a parent. Given the fact that she didn't believe in abortion, her words, not mine, adoption was the only option. I understood and respected that, until I discovered that she had no desire to put any effort towards finding a suitable family. She was planning on just handing her over to the system and let them figure it out. I couldn't in good conscience allow an innocent baby be handed over to into a horrible system, especially not the baby my best friend dreamt about having for as long as I can remember. All he wanted was to be a dad. So, I decided to foster the baby and find a suitable adoptive family myself. Towards the end of her pregnancy, at this point the paperwork was drafted but not signed, the biological mother changed her mind and decided that she would keep the baby. I respected this decision and said that given the fact that her dad, my best friend, couldn't be around, I would gladly step up and help where needed. Fast forward to the baby being born. She was born healthy, everything was great. On day 4 the biological mother called me asking if I could mind the baby for a couple of hours so she could catch up on some sleep. Having had kids myself, I understood that she was having a rough time and happily obliged. She left the little girl at my house with enough formula for 1 bottle and roughly 3 diapers, and a couple of hours turned into a couple of days. I was relentless in trying to reach her but no one knew where she was, so eventually I got police involved. They tracked her down, at which point she agreed to sign her daughter over to me. After a couple of weeks I realized that I could never hand this little girl over to another family and graduated from foster mum to adoption mum. After a hassle with judges, lawyers, social services and a notary, she was officially my daughter. Current problem. Very recently the biological mother contacted me, asking me to be involved in my daughter's life on a regular basis. Now, I'm unsure on what to do. Given how she acted during her pregnancy, not caring about where she ended up, and how she acted abandoning her like that, I don't believe she would be the most stable person in her life, let alone be a positive addition. That leaves me inclined to decline this request. I am conflicted, and this is why. Who am I to refuse a biological mother access to her child? Would I be harming my daughter by declining her biomum access? Before adopting I told myself that when my daughter is old enough to want to meet her biomum and decide she wants to do so, I would do anything in my power to make that happen, but it's not like I can discuss this with my daughter right now. But, above is directly countered by the fact that I am, in every way but the biological way, her mother. My daughter isn't lacking or wanting for a family, she has one. I am also very doubtful of the fact that her biomum is here to stay or will add to her life in any way. When I asked her as to why she's contacting me now, almost a year later, she said because it's my kid and I get to decide whatever I want whenever I want. On top of that, she threatened to have the adoption annulled if I didn't oblige. Obviously, legally speaking, she doesn't have a leg to stand on. So, do I allow her biological mom regular visitations so they can bond as the baby grows up, assuming the biomum keeps showing up, or do I stick to my original plan and let my daughter decide on when/how/if she wants to meet her biological mother when she is ready? Personally, I would rather ban this woman from our lives, but this is all about what is best for my baby. So how do I do right by my daughter? Edit. I feel like I should add that an attorney has been contacted and has assured me that she doesn't have a leg to stand on, that everything is up to my discretion, and short of me being abusive/neglecting, nothing can change that. Edit 2, I clarified the steps that were taken to officially adopt my daughter a little as it was causing confusion. Too long didn't read. Biomum wants to meet my daughter after being irresponsible during pregnancy/after birth, is threatening me if I don't oblige. Who am I to refuse a biological mother access to her child? The child's real mother, that's who you are. You have an adoption lawyer? Talk to your adoption lawyer. You should not be having personal contact with the bio mother unless that was part of the arrangement. Perhaps your lawyer could act as a barrier there, and pass photos to the bio mother once every 6 months or year. Once the child is older, then it is up to her if she wants contact or not. I contacted the lawyer immediately after she threatened me. He assured me she doesn't have a legal leg to stand on, and that short of me being abusive/neglecting the child, nothing would change that, and that in the end everything, contact, visitations, whatnot, are my decision. Me being in contact with her doesn't make a difference. No, you absolutely do not let her near that kid. Even under normal circumstances, it would be questionable. But she's threatening you, and telling you that she will exercise power that she doesn't even have. You need to show her that you are in complete control of this situation, and that any contact she has with the child, will be because you are willing to allow it. Until she understands the reality of who is in charge here, she gets nothing. And under no circumstances, should you feel obligated to be cordial with her. I think you have very valid concerns about the stability this woman has in her life right now. She clearly doesn't know what she wants in regards to the pregnancy and birthed child. I think it's the right choice to not let her into your lives at this moment. However, I would be very open with your child about everything as she's growing up. Make sure she knows it's always her decision if, when she would like to meet her, once she's old enough to have an opinion on it. I wouldn't wait until she's a teen to have the talk, but a literal baby cannot make any decisions. It's very important to me she knows all about what a great man her father was, so growing up she'll hear all about how she ended up being a part of my family, in age-appropriate terms obviously. Your daughter's well-being is too important to gamble with this loose cannon. Her being a terrible mother is the whole reason you adopted. Remember that. Let her know that your attorney will get in contact if and when your daughter wishes to meet her birth mother. Think that's a very good way of putting it. Thank you. My 19 meters, friend 19 meters, is jealous of me because of my girlfriend 19F and has started to get really annoying about it. I've been dating my girlfriend for about a year now. I met her at my college's cooking club. She basically asked me out. She gave me her number and said we should go out sometime. She's really hot and fun and is just generally amazing. My friend hasn't had great luck finding a girlfriend. He basically just plays video games outside of class. And while I guess it's possible to meet a girl that way, it's not really likely. Recently he asked a girl out and she said no, and since then every time I talk to him he just whines that he's alone. Anytime I tried to tell him it'll be fine, he says I shouldn't tell him it'll be fine because I have a hot girlfriend. I tried telling him to go somewhere that there are actually girls and he again just gets mad. A few days ago he said if I wanted him to stop complaining I should let him fuck my girlfriend, and I got pretty pissed about that. I can't just not talk to him since a lot of my friends are friends with him, and I like talking to them. I'm not sure what to do. How close are you to him? Because the fact that he wants to fuck your girlfriend is really shitty and disgusting emo and is kind of a sign that you need to cut him off. If he can't find a girlfriend, it's his problem, not yours. He shouldn't be projecting that onto you and shouldn't be complaining about it either. He could be doing things to help himself out, but instead he's just complaining and not taking any action. She's a person, not a pair of shoes. This guy is an incel. Get the fuck away. You should let him fuck your girlfriend as if you own her and pass her around as you please, even if you were shit enough to want to. You don't own her. What the hell is he thinking? He's an incel in the making. Don't associate with him unless you absolutely have to. He sounds like a toxic narcissistic person, honestly. Sounds like girls don't want him because he's an asshole. Lol.